Thank you very much, Greg. Yes, Victoria's first $1 million juvenile event, the $1 million Blue Diamond Stakes for 2-year-olds, and it's coming up in about 60 seconds. TAB number 1 is Millwood from New South Wales. He's showing at $9 on the tab. Thriller from New Zealand is at $10. Remember, these are Victorian TAB returns for $1 investment. Number 3 Sports is at $16. Le Mans from Sydney is at $34. Knowledge at $21. Schubert, the favourite, trained by Peter Hayes at Angaston in South Australia, is at $3.60. Aveda from Sydney, $15. Rose of Danehill, one of the big Lee Friedman team, and the best fancied of his runners is at $7.50. Lady of the Pines, a stablemate of the favourite, and I think she can win the race. First time in blinkers, I think she'll get a beaut run. She's showing a $6 return. Another Hayes runner is Kenan Song at $26. Accumulation, another of the John Hawkes runners, who's also got Le Mans and Sports in the race. Accumulation is at $16. Befriend, $67. Cornwall Queen at $17. Lady Lexus may as well have stayed home at 200 to 1 chance, and Celia is well over $100, $126 to be exact. The horses are milling behind the barriers, getting ready to go into line, and they'll soon be taking up their positions for the $1 million Blue Diamond. And I reckon the way the race is going to be run at hectic speed, that inside barriers will certainly be an advantage. And Lady of the Pines, the horse I've selected, there's TAB number 13, Cornwall Queen going in. The horse I've selected, Lady of the Pines, will get a good run. She comes from barrier 2 in green with a gold sash. There's some patriotic colours, gold striped sleeves and a striped cap. The favourite Schubert, if you're looking for him, races in green royal blue sleeves and white cap with green spots. In goes number 12, Befriend. They're about to go in the Blue Diamond. Nope, we're still waiting for TAB number 2, Thriller, all the way from New Zealand, and the barrier boys have got 1 or 2 more to bring in there. There's number 11, Accumulation, one of the Ingham brothers runners. She is ridden by Darren Gauchi. Okay, they're ready. Here's our caller for the Blue Diamond, John Russell.
Millwood stands up well. Knowledge the outside. Schubert, there's the light. They're off. Great start on the diamond, and one of the first to jump out. Sports towards the centre, out very quickly also. Lady Lexus showing speed. Accumulation. Thriller began well, so did Rose of Danehill. Millwood over on the inside, working forward into a handy position, and being followed by Celia, and further back is Aveda. Dropping towards the tail of the field is Le Mans as they settle into stride and come down to the 800 metre mark. Sports takes the lead a length and a half. Rose of Danehill over on the inside of Lady Lexus, followed by Thriller. A bit further back, moving into the picture, then is Schubert, being followed closely by Millwood, who's over on the inside. Accumulation just in behind them. Cornwall Queen followed by Aveda. A length and a half, Lady of the Pines over on the inside, being followed closely by Befriend. And further back in the field then is Kenan Song, followed by Knowledge, and Celia has dropped out to last. On the home turn now, and Sports being headed by Thriller. And deeper on the track, joining in Accumulation, and very deep to Schubert, running on well, followed by Lady Lexus. In behind them down the outside of Aveda, and they're followed by Millwood, who's a long way back as they come to the 250. Sports is the leader. Schubert coming down the outside. Rose of Danehill getting through in the centre, followed by Thriller. Deeper on the track, Knowledge and Aveda, but Sports is nicely clear from Rose of Danehill in the final stages. Rose of Danehill, and on the outside, Knowledge on the outside grabs them. Knowledge has got up to score from Rose of Danehill. Sports is third. Fourth is Schubert, followed by Lady of the Pines of Aveda. Further back in the field, a Cornwall Queen, followed by Le Mans, then Millwood, and further back Accumulation, Kenan Song and Thriller, followed by Befriend, Celia, and last is Lady Lexus.
Well, the Group 1 race has come up, and Lee Friedman comes into his own with a winning Quinella. That Sports in front, looked home for a bound. Then the challenger was Rose of Danehill with the pink sleeves, and then White out with a white cap. Look at him finish. Knowledge. By gee, he looks as though he's just come out the gate and joined in. He was coming so fast, and Danny Britton as the winning jockey on Knowledge, who come from a wide barrier, got well back and steamed home, I'd say, to the cheers of the bookies to beat his stablemate Rose of Danehill, Greg Hall, with the John Hawkes trained Sports, Alf Matthews in third place. We take another look at him there. Knowledge, the winner of the $1 million Blue Diamond Stakes of 1997. Time to go back to the cricket. Here's Ian Chappell.
Thank you very much, Kenny. And here at the Gabba, those are the Victorian dividends from race 5 at Caulfield. Race 5 won by number 5, Knowledge. It paid $23.30, $5.70. Rose of Danehill, $2.90, and Sports paying $6.10.
what a race we have coming up for you. The Surround Stakes, the two best 3-year-old fillies in Australia, Assertiflash and Dashing Eagle. Now, Dashing Eagle is favourite on the tote at $1.70. Assertiflash is $2.30. So there's not much between them either way. Bookies have got them about 9 to 10 and 10 to 9. Nothing hardly between them. Almost like the toss of a coin. If I had to toss the coin, perhaps Assertiflash. But I'm not adamant about it. Priceless Joy, TAB number 3, is at $26. All the others, these other four, they're not within 50 metres of the top two. Late Night Fun is at $21, Melanie May $31, and Gypsy Fire $31. But the interest in the Surround Stakes in 1997 is confined to two young fillies, Assertiflash from the Gay Waterhouse stable and Dashing Eagle from the Bart Cummings stable. Dashing Eagle's owner is well-known South Australian wine producer, Mr. Wolf Blass. So I'd imagine there'll be a few drops of celebratory wine drunk if Dashing Eagle is successful. She is by Danehill, Assertiflash is by Zedatif, and Assertiflash is owned by a syndicate of owners, of a half a dozen owners, headed by Mr. Tommy Smith. Now, Assertiflash I picture trailing the likely leader Gypsy Fire to the turn. If she gets a break on Dashing Eagle, that may be enough to get her home. If Dashing Eagle's right with her on the bend, who knows what a race it's going to be. It's 1,400 metres, but there's only one turn here at Warwick Farm. I don't think they'll go that hard early. I just think Gypsy Fire will be lobbing along. She races in dark blue. Assertiflash races in blue and green stripes with a dark blue cap, and Dashing Eagle is in brown colours with a yellow eagle, so you'll be able to pick her up. That's Late Night Fun behind the barriers with the yellow, white and the blue sash. Oh, hello. That looks like Melanie May that's broken through the barrier. And, gee, they might have trouble catching Melanie May. There could easily be a late scratching. We've only got 6 runners at the Clarks of the course. No, they haven't got her yet. Gee whiz, there's only 6 runners running in the Surround Stakes. And, this filly Melanie May could be a late scratching. We could get down to 5. Good shot there of the boys on the ponies, the Clarks of the course, trying to rein her in. They've got her. Well done, sir. Nice work. And Melanie May. Now, she'll either be scratched or they'll take her back to the barrier. The vet will have a look at her, and if he thinks that there's been no harm done by that little short scamper, she didn't go far, did she? She might still run. We'll wait and see what happens. She's only gone down the track a couple of 100 metres, and the Clarks of the course, the Clark of the course with the pony there, will take her back to the start. Well, you saw it pretty clearly, didn't you? She dived straight through the barrier. Her jockey scrambled onto the upright. Rodney Quinn, he's an experienced horseman. He knew that he wasn't going to be any help, and his own safety then was paramount, and he did a good job. There's number 4, Late Night Fun. Her jockey is Jim Cassidy. Cassidy recently completed a disqualification period, and he's showing all his old zip since he come back. Looks like there's a late scratching. There is. Number 5, Melanie May, is officially scratched, and we're down to 5 runners in the Surround Stakes. The other runners are ready. They're about to go. There's just Dashing Eagle, Assertiflash, Priceless Joy, Late Night Fun and Gypsy Fire left. I don't think he'll want to get paid for calling this race, John Tapp, but we'll see how he goes anyway. Here he is, Australia's best race caller, Johnny Tapp.
Righto, Ken, thank you. Yes, bad luck, and that certainly takes a little gloss off the Surround Stakes because we only had 6 to start with. Now there are 5. Melanie May went right off. I hope Rodney Quinn's okay. I think he is. They're off and running in the Surround. And first out is Gypsy Fire. Assertiflash began well, and Late Night Fun on the outside, striding up to join them. Dashing Eagle's going to settle 4th and is going to track Assertiflash. She's parked right on her wheel. And last on the inside is Priceless Joy. At the end of 300, Gypsy Fire led by a length to Assertiflash. Nearly a length away is Late Night Fun, and Dashing Eagle is travelling on the outside of Priceless Joy as they go past the 1,000 mark. They've quickened considerably now as Gypsy Fire slips away to lead by 2 to Assertive Lass. Ahead away Late Night Fun. A length and a quarter to Dashing Eagle, who's travelling on the outside of Priceless Joy. 700 to go. Gypsy Fire in front. Assertive Lass second. Late Night Fun on her outside. A length and a half to Dashing Eagle, who's covering Priceless Joy as they go by the 600 mark, nearing the turn. And Gypsy Fire in full flight as the leader over Assertive Lass. Late Night Fun on the outside. And a length and a half to Dashing Eagle, now being wound up by Johnny Marshall. She'll have to make the turn 4 deep into the straight. Gypsy Fire, Assertive Lass, Late Night Fun, and Dashing Eagle is sweeping right around the outside. She's grabbed the lead. Dashing Eagle shot to the front, coming to the 200 over Assertive Lass, who's not done with. She's fighting on strongly, and then Priceless Joy, but Dashing Eagle clear with 100 to go, and the Eagle has landed in the Surround Stakes for Wolf Blass. Dashing Eagle beat Assertive Lass, Priceless Joy third, and the Eagle clearly superior today. A distant fourth, Late Night Fun, and last of the 5 as they go over the line was Gypsy Fire.
No doubt about the winner, Dashing Eagle. It wasn't quite as the first 2 fillies, I should say, weren't quite as superior as I thought they'd be, with Priceless Joy running a super race in the red and black colours to hold down third money. But Dashing Eagle, if you've backed her, you're going to get back $1.70 for every dollar. Second will be Assertive Lass, and third, Priceless Joy. And even though it was only a small field, it was an exciting race, the Surround Stakes. There's the winner, Dashing Eagle, as we go back to the cricket in Brisbane and Ian Chappell.
Thanks, Kenny. Well, it's going to take a dashing knock from New South Wales to get them home here. They're playing some good shots.
Race 5, Warwick Farm, Dashing Eagle, short price favourite, winning. Assertive Lass a second. Only 5 starters, no third dividend. They ran 1, 2, 3. Handicapper's Delight.
Today continues on Channel 9, this time from Warwick Farm in Sydney with the 1600 metres Chipping Norton Stakes. In fact, the Chipping Norton is the only Group 1 race run at Warwick Farm. There's only a small field of 5, but what it lacks in quantity, it sure makes up for in quality. Number 1, Juggler, the favourite, is at $1.90. Number 2, Dupain at $51. It'll be too short for him. Our old mate Octagonal, and I bet Simon O'Donnell's watching in Melbourne, is at $4.70. Bookmakers have got him a little bit longer. Number 4, Falonte, runner-up at the Cox Plate, and I think he'll beat Juggler today. He's showing $2.70. I hope he'll beat Juggler. I've backed him. And number 5, Circles of Gold, is at $17. She finished third behind Juggler and Octagonal last week in the Apollo Stakes. But the favourite, Juggler, ahead of Falonte with Octagonal, the other one in the betting. And that's Octagonal there in his well-known cerise colours as we have a look at them on screen. Today, Octagonal is ridden by Shane Dye, with Darren Beedman going to Melbourne to ride down there today. But Shane Dye is no stranger to Octagonal, having won the Cox Plate on him in the spring of 1995. Righto, there's Falonte. Jim Cassidy's the rider for Falonte these days. As a matter of fact, he hasn't won on him yet. This is his second ride on the horse. He was a beaten odds-on favourite last start, but there were excuses. That's Dupain out the side to the right. Falonte in blinkers for the first time. He's a 4-year-old stallion by Starway, and he's surely worth a lot of money when his racing days finish. As a matter of fact, I think he's only going to have about 3 more runs, and he'll be at stud this spring in the Hunter Valley, and I'm sure he'll enjoy that a bit more than running around a racecourse and getting belted by a jockey. There's Dupain being set for the Sydney Cup, might find the Chipping Norton a little short. There's Octagonal, Shane Dye adjusting his stirrups there, and there is Juggler, the favourite, and his rider is Glenn Boss. Juggler is a 5-year-old gelding, and he's racing in blinkers as well, as he usually does. Okay, Juggler takes up his spot. Octagonal takes up his spot. We don't want to leave it too late to go to John Tapp. There's only 5 runners. Here he is now.
Righto, Ken, thank you. And they're set and ready on a very, very hot and depressive day at Warwick Farm. Starters ready now for the Chipping Norton Stakes. They're off and running. Octagonal might have been a shade slow. Circles of Gold bounced out in front. Leanne Olsen immediately takes hold of the mare, who wants to run, but she's now dropping back behind Falonte, who goes to a narrow lead over Dupain. Circles of Gold third, won't settle. She's ripping and reefing on the inside of Juggler, who relaxes nicely. And 2.5 away, last of the 5 is Octagonal. Past the 1200 metres mark, and Jimmy Cassidy had Falonte swinging along in front, about a neck on Dupain. A length away, Circles of Gull, flatly refusing to settle, and is giving Leanne Olsen a torrid ride. A neck away to Juggler, and 2.5 to Octagonal, last of the 5. At the 1,000 mark, Falante is ambling in front, led by a half to Dupain. 2 away, Circles of Gold on the inside of Juggler. The mare hasn't done herself much good today. She's pulled very hard early, and Octagonal is now tacking on at the tail. Past the 800 mark, Falante about a neck on Dupain. A length to Juggler, who's racing one off the fence. Di makes a quick move on Octagonal. Glenn Voss on Juggler. Tried to go with him, but Octagonal showed an amazing turn of speed past the 600. He's exploded around the outside to go to the front as they come to the turn. Daring Tactics by Shane Dye. Will they pay off? He's got Octagonal in full flight on the corner, led by a length and a half to Juggler, who's moving to second. Falante third, flat to the boards, and the other two are beaten off. Octagonal first into the straight. He's got a 2-length break on Juggler. Boss goes for the whip on Juggler, who's coming out after Rocky. Octagonal's in front, 100 out. Juggler is trying desperately to pick him up, but Bold Tactics by Shane Dye are going to pay off, and he pinches the Chipping Norton. Octagonal beat Juggler. I think Dupan will just get third in front of Falante, and last of the 5, Circles of Gold.
Well, Daring Tactics by Shane Dye on Octagonal, and you'll hear the reception in Brisbane that this horse gets as he comes back to scale, returning a Group 1 winner today. Octagonal, Australia's favourite horse, too good for Falante and Juggler. Juggler well beaten, and Falante not even a patch of the horse he was back in the spring. But there's just no doubt about the winner, the mighty Octagonal. If you've backed him, $4.70 for the win and $2.20 for the place. Juggler was second, will pay $1.10, and there'll be no third dividend. But Octagonal, he didn't go so hot in the spring, but he's come back to his form of last autumn today to win another Group 1 race. I think that's his 8th Group 1 win, and there'll sure be a fabulous reception for him. That's the story at Warwick Farm, and what a great story it is as we go back to Greg Ritchie at the Gabba and New South Wales v Queensland.
Thanks very much, Ken. Yes, big win there to Octagonal and an excellent ride to Shane Dye. They'll be cheering him when he comes back to the stand area. Phil Emery is out in the centre now here at the Gabba, and New South Wales have lost their 6th wicket with the dividends from Warwick Farm race 6. The winner, number 3, Octagonal, $4.70 and $2.20 for the place. What a win it was by Octagonal. An excellent ride by Shane Dye. I had a few little dollars on number 1, Juggler, and paid $1.10 for the place. There were no dividends for the 3rd place. Number 2, Dupain. So race 6, Warwick Farm, the winner, number 3, Octagonal. It was New South Wales dividends, $4.70 and $2.20.
Yeah, thank you very much, Greg. And the race is the Carlion Cup, and TAB number 1 is a horse we all know, and that is Doremus. Doremus won the Melbourne Cup in 1995. Greg Hall will ride him today. Damien Oliver, of course, rode him in the Melbourne Cup. He's a 10-to-1 chance, or $11 on the tote. Campaign Warrior for Rodney Griffiths is at $15. Peep on the Sly is popular on the tote and with bookies at $5.50 for $1 investment. Mick Dittman rides him. Skybow at $21. Magical Storm at $11. I think Socorano's got a terrific chance at big odds. Last start a winner in the bush, and quite well placed here. He's paying $17. Proposer Toast is at $13. Waikikamukow, that old gay deceiver, is at $16. Skyburner $11. Royal Line at $9. Mushtak at $8 in an open race, and Miss Tesla is out now to $6. Sammy Highland is riding Miss Tesla. Okay, as we look behind the barriers, that is Waikikamukow. Looks like moving in there was TAB number 8 in the cerise colours. This race is over 1,800 metres. Caulfield for Sydney racegoers is a little bit like a reverse Warwick Farm, and horses are turning for a great part of the race, and I always think inside barriers are pretty well an advantage from any start. Okay, Socorano goes in. I'd like to see him go past the post first. That would be a pleasant surprise. There is Skybow, TAB number 4. Skybow is a horse that you probably all know. He finished 3rd in the Melbourne Cup last year behind Saintly and Count Chivas, so he's a bit of a racehorse, isn't he? Number 10 there is Royal Line, and there's Skybow going forward now. Darren Beedman is riding Skybow today. Okay, looks as though they're all there. John Russell will call the action for us. Here he is.
Ready for action. Stand by for a start. Away they run. At an even break it was out of the stalls, although Skybow immediately has dropped back to last and settling into stride. One of the first to show out is Skyburner in advance of Royal Line and Propose a Toast on the inside. Campaign Warrior going fast out deep, and so is Miss Tesla towards the leader. And they were followed by Mushtak a bit further back as Waikika Mukau, a length and a half Socorano. Magical Storm is on the rails, a length and a half further back as Peep on the Sly, followed by Doremus, and Skybow has dropped back to last. Racing up the hill, and Campaign Warrior takes the lead by nearly a length on Miss Tesla. A length and a half then Skyburner. Royal Line is running fourth, followed by Mushtak on the outside of Propose a Toast. Waikika Mukau in behind them. A length and a half Magical Storm, a half length to Socorano, 2.5 lengths to Peep on the Slide. Doremus next to last, and Skybow is last of all. 1,000 metres out. Campaign Warrior, half a length to Miss Tesla, a length and a half Skyburner. Moving up on the outside then is Mushtak, and in that group is Royal Line, a length and a half Propose a Toast. Waikika Mukau on the rails, Magical Storm, followed by Socorano. Peep on the Slide. Doremus and Skybow is still last of all. They pass the 800 metre marker, and the leader here still Campaign Warrior, about ahead in advance of Miss Tesla, moving up on the outside, and just behind the Mushtak. Skyburner's on the rails, Royal Line further back, Waikika Mukau and Socorano on the outside commencing to make ground. They're followed closely by Peep on the Sly, ridden along now Propose a Toast, followed by Magical Storm. Doremus second last, and still last of all is Skybow as they round the home turn. 450 left to run. Miss Tesla takes the lead in the centre from Socorano, and Mushtak putting himself in the picture. Further back then is Waikika Mukau, and coming down the outside, Peep on the Sly. Skyburner followed by Doremus and Propose a Toast. 200 metres left to go, and Miss Tesla is the leader. Peep on the Sly down the outside is rattling home well, and then came Socorano, followed by Mushtak. Miss Tesla still the leader. Peep on the Sly coming at it down the outside. Waikika Mukau flying home. Peep on the Sly hit the front. Peep on the Sly has won from Miss Tesla. I think Waikika Mukau third ahead of Royal Line. Close in behind them then would be Skybow, which finished on well, followed by Mushtak, and further back Socorano, followed by Doremus and Campaign Warrior. Propose a Toast, and last is Magical Storm.
Well, the familiar style of Mick Dittman out in the centre of the track. Boy, oh boy, Mr. Whippy, as I've heard him being called in the past, or the Enforcer. And he certainly lived up to the tag as Peep on the Sly grabbed Miss Tesla with about 50 metres to go. And what's this flashing down the outside in the blinkers in the cerise colours? That is Waikika Mukau, but today he didn't get there in time. It's Peep on the Sly first, Miss Tesla second, Waikika Mukau third, and wide out, what's that in the pink cap? Skybow. Wowee, next time him. Okay, that was the story from race 7 at Caulfield. Let's go back to the Gabba and Greg Ritchie.
Thanks very much, Ken. Yes, back here at the Gabba. And dividends from race 7 at Caulfield. Number 3, Peep on the Sly, paid $4 and $1.90. Number 12, Miss Tesla, $2.20. And number 8, Waikika Mukau, $5.20. The Victorian dividends.
From Warwick Farm, the Liverpool City Cup, as we cross to Kenny Callender.
Thank you very much, Ian. Yes, the Liverpool City Cup is a 1,200 metre sprint, a Group 3 race. And it's a pretty useful field this year too. Number 1, Sword, has got a lot of weight, but he is a Group 1 winner, so that certainly gives him a chance. He's showing at $10 on the tote, odds of 9 to 1. Shaskay really likes it further, is at $41. Winning Hand at $10. Amber, by golly, she's short on the tote, into a little bit to $3.40. She's much better with bookmakers. Catalan Prince at $67. Celestial Choir at $17. That might be a touch over. Yes, it's in now to $13. Montana Sands at $21. Pearl Prince 100 to 1, $101. Restif is at $21. Number 10, Sovereign State, is now into $4.80, which is a little bit better than he is in the ring. Catapult at $16. Proud Player at $51. Number 13, In the Tropics at $31. Number 14, Accomplice, whose main claim to fame at the moment is he's a stablemate of Octagonal. But he's won his last 2. He's pretty useful. Between $5, $5.50, around about $5.40 at the moment. And Baroness Betty, she's a 50 to 1 chance, and I don't think she's quite up. As I talk, she's out to 66 to 1 or $67. The favourites are Sovereign State, Accomplice and Amber. And there is Amber, TAB number 4, with Craig Carmody aboard. Amber, trained by Ron Quinton, a very good sprinting mare, and she won't be disgraced. She ran in a little bit unlucky in a race at Rose Hill last start, in which Dashing Eagle won, and Dashing Eagle has won today here at Warwick Farm. That's Proud Player, Pearl Prince, I should say, TAB number 8. Pearl Prince is from Melbourne, and really, he looks just a touch out of his depth here. He's always been trained down at Cranbourne by Alan Williams. Righto, well, they're starting to get into the barriers. That is TAB number 2, which of course is Shaskay. Has had a few trainers, Shaskay, Guy Walter, Brian Mayfield, Smith, Lee Friedman, now with Tim Donnelly. They're about to go in the Liverpool City Cup. Here's John Tapp.
Thank you, Ken. Yes, they're under starters' orders for the Group 3 Liverpool City Cup. All set now. Starter onto his stand, but up goes Catapult. Catapult reared high. I thought he might have got a four-leg over into the adjoining stall. Starter's come down off his rostrum. Rider of Catapult has scrambled out, Lenny Beasley. So there is a problem here. I've never seen him do that before. I hope he hasn't got a leg over there. He's normally a fairly relaxed horse in the gate, as far as I can recall. Gee, Kim Moore will be sitting in the stand extremely worried because she's got an ambitious program lined up for Catapult this time in, and she'll be distraught, worrying that he might have hurt himself here. Vet's having a look at him. Catapult has been taken out for a veterinary inspection. How does he look? He's okay. He's been cleared. Len Beasley leg back on board. Catapult's quite okay. He didn't lose any skin apparently. And he'll re-enter the stalls and they'll be off shortly. Oh, actually, Len Beasley has been asked to trot Catapult behind the gates. He's taken him 80 or 100 metres back behind the stalls. He's now turning and will trot back towards the vet. So I might have been a little premature in saying that he was okay. He looks fine to me. Yes, he trotted along nice and freely. And back in he goes. Yes, Catapult has trotted out to the satisfaction of the vet. And he re-enters the starting gate. Starter back on his rostrum, and they're ready for the Liverpool City Cup, and they're off now. Good start with Amber and Baroness Betty amongst the first out. Sword began well, so did Sovereign State. Little Montana Sands is charging over from the outside, poking through into a good spot. Winning Hand and Accomplice getting straight into the box seat. Just behind those In the Tropics, followed by Celestial Choir, Pearl Prince, Catapult, Shaskay, and out the back is Catalan Prince. At the 800 mark, Sword is the leader over Sovereign State in the centre. Montana Sands 3 deep. On the fence, Baroness Betty, Accomplice between horses. Further back in the field as they race down towards the turn is Restive at the 600 mark, and then Proud Player, Winning Hand on the fence. Celestial Choir between horses. Amber next, and she's a bit wide as they near the corner, followed by In the Tropics, and then Catapult, Pearl Prince, followed by Shaskay, Catalan Prince last of all. On the corner, and it's Sword, Restive poking through in the middle. Sovereign State 3 out. Montana Sands is 4 out, and further out on the track, Proud Player, followed by Amber, who's widest of all. It's Restive putting his head in front of Sovereign State. Montana Sands, Accomplice getting up on the inside of all of these horses. Accomplice has grabbed a narrow lead close to home, and he draws away to win. Accomplice first, Celestial Choir got second. Heap of them there for third. In the Tropics, Montana Sands, Sovereign State, Restive and Amber close up, followed by Catalan Prince, Sword, Shaskay, Catapult, Proud Player, Winning Hand, Pearl Prince, and Baroness Betty is last of all. What did I tell you?
Yeah, that was a thriller, and all the leaders, horses like Sword, Restive, Sovereign State and Montana Sands, they all did it tough, and when the split came on the inside for Accomplice, he took it, dived through, and it's another win for Shane Dye in the octagonal colours. Accomplice certainly first, second will be Celestial Choir out deep, and possibly Montana Sands third in what was a very exciting Liverpool City Cup. If you back the winner, TAB number 14 is going to pay $4.20 and $1.09. Is going to pay $5.20 and $2.10 as we go back to the Gabba and Ian Chappell.
Thanks there to Kenny Callender. That completes the racing program for today. Here at the Gabba, New South Wales 7 for 189. Gavin Robertson is the new batsman out, and New South Wales have lost Kevin Roberts. He was out with his score at
Warwick Farm Race 7. The New South Wales dividends, number 14 Accomplice 520 and 210, number 6 Celestial Choir 340, and number 7 Montana Sands 570. Money there for the taking, and for here at the Gabba, it is Queensland who look as though they're going to move into the final. They're